My beautiful stars, reading time. We're going to do person on your mind, their true feelings, intentions, and if there is next action. But I'm not going to lie, coming into this reading, I feel like a pit in my stomach. I actually feel physically sick. So that could be this collective, or you could actually be sick at the moment. It could be coming from this person. Let's get into it. All right. Main collective. Oh, oh, oh. All right, straight off the bat, detail. So they'd be going over a certain memory from December 22nd, February 6th, February 7th to March 19th. So for the right collective, especially the feeling I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting a sick feeling. There would be, and I will confirm what memory they're going over, but there was clearly something very significant that happened in your connection in this time period. Okay, glowing up. Maybe this collective, this is quite recent as well, unless it was a past cycle, but maybe since whatever this is, you've really been focusing on glowing up. This is more of an internal glow up for them, but I'm hearing collective. They could really be noticing this in you right now. I'm working on myself every day. I hope to improve spiritually, emotionally, to become a better person that deserves you. I'm slowly moving forward in my life, and I hope to reunite with you one day. Number 31 and 98. I feel a bit of both of you in this. Oh. I keep staring at this. This could actually have been, I'm hearing a couple things with this. This, especially if this was recent, if you really started, you know, focusing on self and just putting yourself first, and maybe, especially if this person struggles with insecurities, not a healthy outlook, but this could have really affected this dynamic, right? This person could have thought you were doing all this as you were getting past this connection, you were looking at moving on, or especially if you're going to the gym and stuff, maybe they thought that you were kind of, like this is coming to my mind specifically, that you were starting to get interest in somewhere else. And because I'm more feeling this to be a trigger point for the right collective, let's even just say, because again, I'm getting a sick feeling, this could tie into more present, especially if you started glowing up after, like I keep thinking this was an interference point, right? They could really be thinking that, again, you've just been kind of snapped up, or you're about to get snapped up, especially if you guys aren't speaking at the moment, right? Hoping to return to you one day. But fateful encounter. So you guys definitely, whenever I see this card, this is another detail. This fateful encounter, it's that serendipitous connection. So you could tell when you guys met each other, it was very universally guided. Let's say it was, you met at a job, right? And initially you didn't want to maybe work at this place. You ended up working at this place, vice versa. Or, you know, you were invited to go out and then you were like, no, I'm not going to go. And last minute you did. It's like you could see that the universe really aligned you at that point, at that time, right? You met through friendships. Maybe it was a friend you hadn't seen in ages, and then all of a sudden, you know, you got back into alignment with this friendship that knew this person. Like it was just the right collective. You'll know what I'm saying. It wasn't just, you know, you being online, or and you would have had discussions about this because this person's thinking of this moment, right? Like you would have had discussions about how this felt very universal, the way that you guys aligned with one another. The moment I laid eyes on you, I knew. I can't explain how I felt it, but I knew I was meant to find you. Don't make that fit, because I've allocated that as that serendipitous connection. And you've got a memory here straight off the bat. Okay. Oh, this one always breaks my heart. For this person, this card's about really pushing love away, because feelings of not deserving love, right? Do I think this person knew in the forefront of their mind that they kind of felt a little bit unlovable, or they had been hurt so much that they just didn't really believe in that long-term longevity or, you know, life partner energy? I don't think so, but I do think this person's reflecting on how they do push good things away out of their life. So they could be a little bit of a self-sabotager as things are really starting to go well, especially with the deviation I felt for this, like the accusing, the nitpicking, constantly, like, I feel there was something about your glow that really ignited this person's insecurities. But maybe they're starting to reflect that they tend to do this. They tend to kind of, when things are going really well, without them even knowing, they try and implant chaos into dynamics because they're just pushing it away because of trauma. Do I think they're completely aware of this? No, but there could be a lot of things crumbling right now in their life, and they're starting to see their patterns. I'm working, especially with this one, I'm working on my self-worth. For a long time, I deemed myself as someone who didn't deserve love and happiness. I was always angry with my life, and I pushed love away because I thought I didn't deserve it. Is it to that extreme? No, but I do think patterns. I'm hearing patterns. I feel this person knows because of certain insecurities. It can just really put friction in dynamic, especially this collective and your dynamic that you shared here. This means that you would have dealt with a bit of a hurt. Actually, I want to do that. Let's get really detailed. Let's see how this collective, who this person is to you, how you would view them. And then you've got 1 and 29, so 29th of January, especially with this date here, that could have been important, or the 31st of January. Okay, so I feel this person, especially with this 8 of Cups, I have a feeling this person walked away, but I feel this collective right now, you're trying to walk away. I feel 8 of Cups is a tough one because we really don't want to walk away from that cup, but we know it's kind of keeping us off balance. We really feel it's just not emotionally fulfilling us anymore, and we deserve better, right? And I do feel this person in the moment, I genuinely think whatever was done here, they really felt it was coming from a place that, and especially if they have this, they're prone to push good things away. As soon as certain things started coming up and they started really reflecting, especially if you guys were coming into a frictional point and this person maybe didn't have the most love experience and they weren't used to putting in the effort that's needed to really maintain a healthy relationship. I feel as soon as it started to kind of have obstacles and disagreements, challenges, it's like they started just expecting the worst. And their outlook to walk away was, this isn't serving me, this is keeping me off balance. I think the way this was done, it was very kind of through a moment of maybe a lot of emotionally charged energy. But I definitely don't feel that there was enough effort put into this collective to kind of fix this dynamic. But I genuinely believe in the moment, especially if this is something that's like kind of that they're scarred at the bottom of the soul with and not completely aware of. It's like they walked away truly believing that this wasn't gonna get better. It was just gonna get worse. For them to be reflecting on the moment they laid eyes on you, like they're reminiscing right now. They're probably questioning this. But again, this is to align the collective to this person. Now, there could be an earth sign or a water sign. Maybe they led more with their feminine energy as well. Very nurturing, caring. I feel this collective, this person could have really made you feel protected, right? But more of a realistic mind frame. even though this person was very caring, I think when it came to certain boundaries, again, I'm seeing that kind of rigid stance, very black and white, right? And maybe it was hard for them to find compromise when they were emotionally charged, kind of like in that energy. Once they were feeling hurt or some form of trigger, it's like they just wouldn't, and again, this could just come down to life experience or self-unawareness, love experience. I just don't think this person really knew how to compromise, right? But I do think this person, when their armor wasn't up, there was just this very caring energy. It would have felt, this connection would have felt like it was grounding you, right? You would have felt safety here. Okay. Moon in reverse. This is... So even though they've got this is a very connected to intuition card. So even though I'm saying they were realistic, they could have had some form of, you know, like you could have felt some form of true spiritual connection, especially with this fateful encounter. Maybe this person was really connected when it came to their intuition, if they knew it or not. I've got a few collectives here. You're really connected to someone quite magical. Not that they're a practitioner, but you know, they would say things, they would speak things into existence. They would just, you could tell they could see, right? So even though they had a very grounded energy, I do think this person was very connected, right? And I do feel that you trusted in this person. I don't think this collective, you ever felt this would end up being like this, right? Maybe it was one of those connections that came in very intense, and even though I'm saying there was little obstacles, because it was so intense, and if this person conquered you and they just made you feel so seen and nurtured and safe and protected, I feel it released anxiety and fear for you. Like, I genuinely don't think this collective, you ever really thought this person would walk away, right? There's something here that they just made you feel safe. That's nice Pisces energy. Okay, but then you've got this. I do think this person could have had a different version when their armor would come up. Maybe these are more forgotten memories about, like, that is polar opposite, right? Maybe right now you kind of hold on to the hurt and the burdens. With these two here, I can't see how this person was physically abusive. There could have been some, like, I'm seeing my broken mirror energy. I wouldn't say emotional abuse, but I think you both had a lack of understanding how to soothe each other when you guys were triggered. So for something that should have just been a challenge, it would end up hitting acceleration and explosion, and it would create conflict, right? But I'm seeing two parties at fault here. But maybe now you see this as a negative, toxic, karmic connection. Maybe you're just seeing this as you were codependent. Maybe you're reflecting on trauma and thinking, did I just care about this person because of an unhealed version of myself? But also I am hearing, to tie you to this, maybe you actually think that, and I always say influences, you shouldn't really focus on that, but you could think that there was interference from energetic implants, unfortunately some negative karmic connections around them as well. I'm hearing both for this. And this, if this was the behavior that would come up, it would make sense with this. It's like I said, I do think this person had tendencies to just go into self-sabotage, but the sad thing is they didn't realize it. They didn't realize that it was a constant for them to push away good things or start unnecessary arguments, or like this would be a pattern for them, especially if they're in reflection. They would be noticing this is interfered, not just in your connection, but other connections as well. Capricorn energy. Okay, so clearly right now, Eight of Pentacles in reverse, this isn't delivering. Maybe it's been very repetitive here. Maybe you guys have tried. Maybe you guys have tried to kind of get this back on the same page. But if it hasn't been delivering, I'm not going to lie, this card reminds me of just bored. You're bored, right? I'm hearing that for a reason, which makes me feel, especially with not delivering, very repetitive energy. Same day, different story is what I'm kind of hearing. Maybe you really haven't seen any change in this person. Maybe you see them as someone that's that is very off balance in life as well. Could have met them at work. You've got a few pentacle energies here, especially with this fateful encounter. Okay, one more. Oh God, that's not a good one at all. You've got the two most realistic energies. Maybe you see them more as a wounded feminine energy, keeps themselves in an ivory tower, lacks accountability, kind of my way or the highway, right? Self-unaware, very emotionally charged, temperamental, moody. But you've got both of these queens, even though Queen of Swords is in reverse, very firm with boundaries. But I will say this Queen of Swords in reverse, she can be a little bit nasty. She's very, very critical. She notices everything, right? And I feel when this person gets to a point of this, that's when they start noticing everything to start arguments. But they themselves, because they live in the mind so much, they start to cloud their vision. They manipulate their thought pattern and don't even know it. And if this person, double-ended sword, not that they were a practitioner, but I feel this person knew that they were quite intuitive. So if they had gotten a lot of things right in their life with their intuition, and then little details come over about you, they could have maybe internally swore black and blue they were seeing things the right way, no matter what you would say, right? But very abrupt, little bit calculate, gossiper. Maybe this person let a lot of people interfere in your connection. I always say this, when you're going through a challenge with someone, especially if it's someone you genuinely love, and I know family and friends, 9 times out of 10, they genuinely just want the best for you, right? So if you're going to these people, and people that are self-unaware, especially someone that is prone to create chaos, be accusatory, constantly start arguments, and not aware about it, this person with their big mouth, when you guys were going through anything frictional, turned to family and friends, and unfortunately when talking about the situation, manipulated in their favor to get validation for their actions and why they were being X, Y, and Z, right? And again, 9 times out of 10, your family and friends want the best for you. So if you're constantly putting someone down and saying they're this, they're that, or they're constantly seeing you cry, or of course these people are going to be like, what are you doing? Get out of this situation, right? And it's really sad, because when I feel this in an energy, normally the person that's being gossiped about, aka collective, once there's destruction, you guys start blaming the family and friends. But the thing is, if this person wasn't adding fuel to the fire and manipulating what was being said, these people wouldn't have gotten involved in the first place, right? And this is where sometimes you guys, there's a reason this is coming out. They're enablers, narcissistic parents, they're this, they're that, they're blah, blah, blah. Like, you think the worst of these people. But the thing is, it all started stemming from what this person was saying, right? And again, this person seems to be someone, they can manipulate their thought pattern into truly believing what they're saying, what they're thinking is truth. And we always say, once you have a perception on a situation or a person, whatever it may be, that cannot be changed with words. It's action, but I don't think you guys have, either of you have been able to give consistent action to show change of past obstacles, right? But again, another thing, maybe this person you see is to be very scattered. I'm hearing a little bit unpredictable as well. You don't know what version you're going to get from them. You don't know when they're going to get triggered, right? Which is sad. Talking to myself, what I was saying is this seems like a connection. Again, this is meant to resonate with collective. So this is how you would be thinking right now, that this connection started taking away, not adding. Relationships shouldn't take away from your table. They should add to your table, right? It's sad because, like I said, we started off with some really nice cards, and then it's like, I just think those nice things are, again, things that unfortunately are kind of a forgotten memory for this collective. Hold on, before we keep going, I just want to get these just to confirm where your heart lies with this connection right now, and then we will really break it down. Yeah, realization. So there's a shift coming for you at the moment. So epiphany, trying to get a better understanding. You're awakening to things and seeing things that maybe you were not seeing before. Maybe you've had a light bulb moment just of recent. Where did that go? Sorry. Oh. But you want a second chance here. So you do think about reconciliation, making amends, and opportunity. But maybe this is where your realization is coming, especially if this is something you have been wanting for a long time, and then that Eight of Pentacles in reverse, it just doesn't deliver. It's always repetitive. It always feels like one step forward, 10 steps back in this dynamic. And I'm literally staring at these dice. I think right now, I'm hearing the word risky. It's like maybe for so long you were just so blinded by wanting this person back. You weren't taking notice of how risky for you, especially if there was interference. I always say, when you're choosing to be with someone, you're choosing to be with all of them, and that's the baggage that is tied to them. Trauma, family, friends, whatever. It's all of it, right? I just feel, and even for self, like if you've been on a journey of soul discovery and healing and really trying to not remove past version of self, but understand past version of self. I always say we should always accept all versions of us because it's creating who we are and who we're destined to be. But when we're really focusing on that internal change and we're holding on to past things that bring up a version of self that we're really trying to, well, the word is heal. We're really trying to heal certain things that unfortunately can keep our life on repeat, certain reactions, decisions, just the actions we make in life from an emotionally charged place. And we have someone that every time we're around that energy, repetitive, not delivering, one step forward, 10 steps back, they keep igniting that version that we're trying so hard to find at least a bit of simmer with. It is risky. It is risky. There comes a point where you're like, I need to put myself first. I love this person, but everything I'm working so hard to do around them, it feels impossible, right? And that's sad. Boundaries. This collective, you feels like you're really trying to find strength here, but I think you're on the fence. I don't think you're completely detached from this. I think you're really trying, though, to find clarity in thought pattern whenever this is coming up. I just believe it doesn't make sense anymore, and it's sad because I think you're just, I think it hurts you. I think it hurts you. But boundaries, you've drawn the line. Enough is enough. And that was maybe really hard for you to do. But I feel this collective, especially with what I just said about risky, I think it was really hard for you to choose yourself here. But deep down, it's like you knew you had to. And as well, I will say this, because how they're presenting, very rigid stance with their boundaries. Once they make a decision, this person seems to be very condemning. Like, even if they know deep down within it's the wrong decision, very stubborn, right? There could be an 8 or ruled by the Chariot, right? I just feel this person, it's like once they make their mind up, there's no going back. So you could be reflecting on their boundaries too. But then the chemistry, fateful encounter. So again, it's not easy. This collective, and I always say letting go isn't easy. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. You still feel the chemistry, and I always say chemistry can't be created. You have it with someone or you don't, right? This collective, it really could have been this energy. The moment you met this person, just that pull to their soul, right? But the attraction, the spark, the passionate memories. Oh, you got the Foot card. Sorry. I've allocated it now, so when it comes out, this is right person, wrong time. This is part of your realization. Don't make this fit. You're one of my collectives. There's a weird foot. Oh my God, I did it again and the Foot card came out. I was just saying, underneath realization, I've allocated this now as there's a weird foot detail in the right collective. This is a detail, so don't make it fit. But underneath realization, this is about right person, wrong time, right? So there could be, maybe even epiphanies about that, or holding on to that. But you, the right collective, there is something weird with feet. So either foot fetishes, or you hate feet, or you've got the same looking feet, or if you hate feet, they always wear socks to bed, something like that, right? This person always wears socks to bed. Why am I seeing webbed toes as well? I just saw that. I've never seen the webbed toes in this card, but there's something weird about feet. Not that webbed toes is weird, but the foot. Oh God. So second foundation. So you guys could have actually had a foundation. This is what you're wanting a second chance at, a rebuild. So, well, when you think about it, right? Makes sense with why this probably broke you so much, but how you establish things. Maybe you were planning on building a family together, or that very nice unconditional loving home, children or not, just that nice foundation. But again, the security, and I feel this person really did make you feel safe at one point in time. I felt it when I saw that Queen of Pentacles. It was like you felt protected, right? Okay, chasing in reverse. I don't read these in reverse, but that's what I think. This collective, you're refusing to do it anymore. Maybe you were the one that was just putting in excessive effort to try and fix this, or you were always so receptive, or, you know, just really easygoing with this person because you were trying to get it back into alignment. But this is where your boundaries have come. This collective, I genuinely think it was you. You drew the line, and every time anything comes over you, you're like, no, never again. And you've probably said to yourself, you'll never align in a dynamic where you're feeling like you have to do this, especially if once upon a time they made you feel secure and protected, right? Maybe that is also why you did put so much effort in to try and get back to what it was, because again, you were holding on to the memories of what this person did make you feel. Okay, trapped, but I think we're coming out again. I don't read these in reverse, but this chemistry, I think you were so trapped in this for a long time, thinking this was irreplaceable, thinking you would never feel that spark and that connection and that passion and that just, I'm literally in my mind, I know this is PG, but I'm just seeing two bodies just completely intertwined, like magic being created, right? And I feel for so long that was part of you just couldn't see how that would ever be able to be replaced. But again, I think that's what you're letting go of, right? You're not trapped in this anymore, but you were stuck, tied down, captivated by it. This clinging on is at the bottom. I do think you still have moments of hoping, and I wouldn't say obsessing, but anyway, that's main collective, right? Let's get back into this. All right, this glow up. I was feeling a couple things for this. It'll be interesting what confirms this. The infatuation. So this was obsessive love. But maybe it's this person as well, because you are glowing. They're like, is this lust or is this love? There's clearly a very high attraction for you. I'm going to get how they see you and stuff through this reading as well. But I think right now they're clearly drawn to you, but there's some form of obsession here. But I think because of the attraction, they do say to themselves, is just like the chemistry thing that you were focusing on for this collective. I think that's something they reflect on. And I do think this person, and I'm saying this, I haven't confirmed this whole reading, I don't think this person realizes the power of love, and that love isn't just a feeling. It's about action. It's about choosing each other. It's showing that consistency of choice. I choose you through good and bad, right? Love is shown. I do think they're going through some things to make them reflect on this, but I do think that this person has moments of, especially if they've always pushed it away, especially if they literally do not believe relationships can last, right? It's a hard one to transition out of. I want one more for that. But however you're shining right now, this collective, it's drawing them in. Age different. Don't make this fit. Readings like this, I always say details. And it makes sense because I keep bringing up life experience, love experience. You guys could actually have an age difference here, but there's an imbalance of how you guys show love. And I do think it comes from either true immaturity or, again, not as much love experience as you. I don't think this person understands what love is. Maybe love to them, they're always bound to very sexual connections, right? It's like, I'm hearing it. I'm going to say it. It's like that could be a priority for this person when choosing companionship. They're very physical touch, like there's so much more to it, especially with this being here, right? There's something about this person, the way they view things, especially if it is an age difference. It wasn't aligned, but this is what they're reflecting on. I know there is a huge age gap between us, and some may even object because of that. However, we are so similar in so many ways, regardless of our difference, and it makes sense. Was this just love? Was this just, lust, there's a reason I said love. Was this just lust? Especially if it was a little bit forbidden. Especially if there was some taboo in your connection, right? Especially if this person is a bit of a sensationalist and they like more of that exciting, kind of naughty, kind of, again, forbidden kind of energy in their life. I think they question this still. One more. Oh, good. They clearly are going through some form of transformation. We love this card. So they've got the glow up. So let's now go back to them. They are going through a glow up. They're going through spiritual practices. They're finding balance, right? I'm healing myself through meditation or spiritual practices. It's the only way I can make myself feel whole again. Number 25, 62, 61. That's good. And again, you, collective, because I do feel you're going through a glow up the way that we're speaking. You yourself could be you could really be, I'm seeing my Queen of Cups, a true spiritual queen or king, right? Maybe they find inspiration from this through you as well. Again, I'm going to get tarot for how they see you. This memory. This is important. Okay, Taurus could be important here, but the memory. I took forever in making my mind up about our connection. Instead of speaking to you, I'd run away and indulge in unnecessary pleasures in order to ignore my feelings. Sensationalist likes the pleasures in life. Confirmation. But whatever this was, this is what they're reflecting on. So that Eight of Pentacles in reverse, not delivering. It wouldn't surprise me if, and most of my collectives, you guys are on the roundabout with someone. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's a few memories, right, where this person, it's like they were so tempted to you, soul pulled to you, orbiting love, but every time they would come in, something would happen, not delivering, repetitive, 1 step forward, 10 steps back, and they would just go to what was easy, right? But there's definitely, for the right collective, a period, December through to March, that they're going over this, that they chose wrong. Their indecision. I know my inability to make a decision hurts you. I'm going to have to get that deck. I saw that specifically then. I want one more for this. Number 83. Outer turmoil. So I don't think you've realized, the right collective, I don't think you realize how much it pains them. But every time they do something like this, they feel a tower. They feel destruction. They feel pain. But every time it would ignite turbulence. But I'm also hearing this specific point, right? This December through to March, they could have actually been going through outer turmoil. Battles, arguments, unnecessary conflict, feeling the world is falling apart, physical world filled with chaos, confusion and destruction. I feel my life is falling apart and I don't know what to do. Whatever can go wrong has gone wrong, but the one thing that felt right was you. So let's just say Eight of Pentacles in reverse. They came in how they always came in, but their life was in destruction. And then this collective, you're probably at your breaking point, had enough. And what did you do? Because you didn't know this was going on. Boom, added more destruction. And I think this person was just like, blah, because that's a pretty big memory to be reflecting on. But as well, I am hearing, since you, things just seem to feel really hard to get their life back together. It's like every time something goes right, 10 things go wrong. All right, fateful encounter. Number 1, destiny. Oh, you've got, oh my God. So right now, inner turmoil and outer turmoil. So when they think of you, it's the sick feeling I was feeling. My stomach was in knots. Like I literally felt like I was going to throw up coming into this. So when they think of you, destruction, 3 of Swords. But this is a bit of a victim mentality card, I ain't gonna lie. I'm bounded physically, mentally, spiritually, but they are working on it, right? I feel there is no way out from where I am. I feel imprisoned because of my own doing. I'm trying to fight my inner demons, but sometimes it's difficult, right? It's difficult at times. So when they think of you, they know they effed up here. They know what they've done, but they feel backed in a corner, right? And it's fun. I did a reading the other day. It's coming to my mind, and the collective had someone connected to, it could be the same collective. The collective had someone connected to them. They're trying so hard to heal, but it's like when they're triggered, that version, sorry, eyeballs are on, that they're trying to heal, it comes out and they're like, I'm never going to be able to change this. Like, what's wrong with me, right? That's what I'm feeling here. And that's not the case. And I said this to that collective. I'm being called to say it to you guys. Just reflect on your healing journey. And I'm probably 100% certain still to this point, this collective, you can still walk through the same fire and think, oh my God, I've done it again. Healing takes time, right? Again, it's a lifetime full of armor that you guys are having to reparent yourself with. But I feel for this person, it's like they're trying so hard, but they genuinely have moments of thinking there's just no way out of where they are or the person they are, which is really sad. Number 63. You've got 61, 62, 63 consecutive numbers. I want one more for that. Oh, but reinventing themselves. So they're trying so hard. There's a reason I said that. There's some big cards here about self-development. You've got the spiritual practices, the glow-up energy, this fragmentation, starting to understand. I'm trying to reinvent myself. This is good. And I always say this, so when they think of you, I always say the right love inspires change. So this fateful encounter, it destroys them, but they're trying to be better. This is good. I'm trying to reinvent myself and release the old me. I took you for granted and disappointed you, deserted you when you needed me the most. I want to come back stronger so we can build something better. But then they keep doing certain things that they've done in the past, and it would make them feel like, well, what's the point? Sad. Another memory. So this collective, there's two things they're going over. I think this is collective's boundaries. I was feeling this could have been, maybe this was the point. So from June 21st, August 5th, August 6th to September 21st, they're in reflection of how they can become really nasty, accusatory, push things away through self-destruction, self-sabotage, right? So for the right collective, there was something that happened here as well, that when they reflect on what happened here, this is when they're like, oh my God, why do I push things away? Why do I, when I feel love or feel something special, I hurt people. I hurt the people I love. What is it about me, right? So again, important detail for the right collective. All right. Before we keep going, I just want to see how this person sees you. Then we're going to get their emotion right now, what their feelings are, and I do want to get a little bit of universe's perspective on this whole situation, and then we'll see how this goes, if there's action right now or if it's just deep reflection. All right, I'm going to get this deck for you guys for how they see you, and I want to get an animal card as well and an archetype. All right. How they view you, collective. Oh, that's wanting to come out. So there definitely is a high desire for you, Knight of Wands. They could see you as really attractive. You could be quite an athletic person. There is something about your charm and your magnetism and the way you walk through this world that draws them in, that infatuation. Be very spontaneous. I feel you're a passionate person, but I also feel you're an impulsive person, and they do know this about you. But your appearance to this person would be a little bit hypnotic. Okay, that you're balanced, but maybe that you yourself, you see them as quite scattered and imbalanced, but maybe you're someone that what I'm actually hearing in my mind, I genuinely feel this person, there's something about, because I'm going back to that glow up card, I have a feeling this person, it wouldn't surprise me if they genuinely believe in their mind, and I'm not saying it's true, that you were juggling them, or you, remember I said in that card, I feel like they thought you were, you know, pulling away from them, and it could have been because of someone else. Like, I'm actually seeing this more as when they think of you, I feel they genuinely believe, especially if they see you like this, that, like, kind of that, why would you choose them? I feel this person thinks that you're snapped up right now. But again, they could be reflecting on all the back and forth as well with you. Why do I feel this person has broken trust here with something they've created in their mind for the right collective? You might not even know that. Especially if when you aligned with this person, you were coming out of a long-term connection, they could have just felt like they were rebound to you, especially if they hold you on a pedestal. And you are very magnetizing, very charming. Like, you just have a charisma. You would light up a room. You would get attention, this collective. Oh God, you're a truth seeker. Very good communicator. You focus. Ace of Swords. So they would see you as moving with logic as well. But can I say this? I know this is about how they're seeing you, but this is a card of an epiphany. And as you're going through an epiphany, I think this person's going through a bit of an epiphany right now, to a point they have knots in their stomach. But your communication skills, the way you focus, how you are someone that probably goes through a lot of breakthroughs in life, and you're just constantly developing, right? I feel you do. You just constantly expand, especially with whatever you're passionate about. And this is also, it is a card of clarity. So like I said, epiphany. I feel this person's going through an epiphany, but this, I think this holds this person back. And the sad thing is, it's something I think they're creating in their mind. But as well, maybe that you're very busy, that you focus on your daily tasks. Maybe they feel that you wouldn't even, especially if you are always expanding and growing. If you're a bit of a taskmaster and you have created a very beautiful, abundant life for yourself, maybe that's another thing that blocks them here. They're too busy. They wouldn't have time for me anyway. Especially if you're a collective that has distance, or... I'm hearing a couple things with this. Okay. This is sad. I'm gonna say this is how they're seeing you. And I do actually have a few collectives here that I'm just seeing the undervalued, feeling undervalued, underappreciated. Maybe in the past... You remind me of one of my collectives. Maybe you didn't realize what you were losing till it was a little bit too late. And I do think this person, when they think of you, they remember how much effort they put in. Remember, I did say I feel this person really conquered you. They made you feel safe and protected. But if they always were thinking you were looking elsewhere, or you were this, without you knowing, you weren't giving them the... And I know they struggled with insecurities, but clearly what they needed to receive in love, to feel secure, unfortunately, this collective, you weren't giving it to them, right? And I'm not saying it's your fault, but if this person was constantly... how they made you feel safe and protected, but maybe this person didn't feel the same. If they literally thought that they were going to get their heart broken, they were delaying the inevitable, there's no way we're going to, work long term. There was something that was missing, what they needed as well, right? Right, collective, you'll know what I'm saying. Because I do think they did feel undervalued here. They did feel a little bit unappreciated, and I think it's still a memory, which means this person lost themselves in you. They lost themselves in you. Again, it could be how they've undervalued you since, but if this person's been very cold and very shut down, maybe that's the way that they protect themselves. Not that it's valid, but again, it's that armor. It's what, till we're self-aware about these things, we'll never change those things. I want one more for this. Especially with this, if you're very busy and you would give to other things and you would give to other people, and they would see your caring, giving nature to others, but they didn't feel that in your dynamic, for them they would have been like, what the is going on, right? Why can they put so much effort into this, but not me? Look at everything I'm doing for this person, right? I want one more. Four of Pentacles, creature, oh, but then the star. Oh God, okay. I don't think this person ever really communicates. I don't even think they realize this in the moment, right? I don't even think that. For these two to be here, I have a feeling this should more be up this way. I think you are a collective that is, I'm not going to say you like a repetitive life. I feel you are someone that, or that you thrive in complacent. You like a routine, you like structure, you like to kind of be, I don't want to say you lack spontaneity, because I clearly see that spark in your soul, but I do think you have priorities and you like to be organized and you like to just, there's a certain routine. And once you have that routine, you don't like people interfering with that routine. And I think this is what made this person feel a little bit undervalued. Kind of that all work, no play all the time, but you didn't even notice it. It's like anything that affected your routine, maybe you would fly off the handle a little bit, or you would get a little bit annoyed without you even knowing, right? I just feel when it came to this, there was a lack of mindfulness on both ends, and there was a lack of expression on both ends about this being a trigger point, because I don't even think this person really understood it in the moment. It's just now when they reflect. But you've got to remember, this person's still seeing you as kind of very, very busy. So I think it's like bringing up a scar in them. But your saving grace here is, you've got the star over the top, which is calm, serene, and peaceful. So I do think there's a shift in perspective when they do think of this. And again, you could literally be, with all the spiritual cards, divine child. This is my divine cosmic being, right? I do think they see you as a wish, but I do think with your life, they see you expansion. It's like your wish. This is a miracle card for me, right? There is something about your glow. They could also believe that you're destined for very big things. The star, my strength card, my 6 of wands, they're kind of my cards of true illumination and fame. But the sense of peace she has, the serenity, the balance, the center, the way she trusts in the universal flow of life. I do think there's some past memories here that they are starting to, and remember I said perception. It's really hard to change perception, so that's done through action. So this person, for their perception to be changing on this, they've seen through your action that maybe their perspective of you as a person wasn't right. And you've got to remember the start. I do think this person unfortunately spoke to a few people, and if they were constantly talking about this. And another thing, 4 of Pentacles can be quite possessive and claiming. You guys could have, because I feel this person was constantly accusing you of things that would have rubbed off on you. You both could have ended up being a very claiming relationship here, but they weren't taking accountability for their actions, self-unaware. So if they were getting validated because they were constantly saying, I don't feel appreciated, it's always about work, or this or this or this, anytime I want to do something, it always has to be what they want to do. I could just imagine what people were saying to them to validate that thought pattern, right? They could have put you in the category of being a narcissist, or again, rebound energy. They don't really care if they're not prioritizing you, if they're not making you feel seen, if you're always arguing, what's the point, right? And I'm going to be honest, I think that was solidified in them every time they would crave you. But again, saving grace, this is here. But I think what makes them go in and out is this. You would still be a taskmaster. You'd still be very busy. And I do think this person's scared that if they know it or not, they'll be put back in that same position again. Don't make it fit. All right, let's get 2 more, and I want to get animal cards here. Okay. They think you spy on them. My little detective, you don't miss anything, especially if you've got star energy. Very intelligent though, very knowledgeable. Your mind's always expanding, very quick-witted. Nothing can get past you. But you're constantly growing in the mind. But again, you wouldn't miss a thing. So they would have memory, like nothing could get past you, right? I don't know if they voice this to you, but they definitely, when they think of you, there's something. I'm going to get animal cards next. It wouldn't surprise me if this collective you have sight. There's something about your intelligence, though. It makes sense why that age difference card came out. Oh, that went on me. Oh, my angels. I have to say, you got both of my impulsive knights here. So when you think of something, sometimes you don't find center and find the so this for them to be reflecting on this impulsive energy, right? They would be reflecting on arguments and how they can get so abruptive because the lack of thought behind it, right? So even though they're going through, you can see with how they're viewing you, they're so scared, just like this collective, risky. You've got both of my moving knights. And I always say this creates such a rapid high, but just as quick, a rapid low. So just how you feel 10 steps forward, 10 steps back, they feel the same. And it makes sense with the outer turmoil. Every time they come in, they just feel like their soul gets destroyed. It will take them months to simmer down from a communication with you because it creates, you're like intoxicating, right? But then things go to shit and it's heartbreaking. So you could have a bit of a childlike soul too, I'm hearing. But again, this says intelligence and confidence, and I do think that gets, but harsh. You can have very harsh critical words yourself. You see them as having harsh critical. So that makes sense with that infatuation card. They're so lustful over you. There is something so like, oh, right? But then when they think about how this can just ignite you both, they would question. You've got a lot of swords here. So you would be someone that, again, they know. Look at the air that you have here. You're air and pentacles. Just like they were pretty much air and pentacles. They would think you're an over-processor, over-analytical as well. I know you've got this. That's just more appearance-wise, but... Jeez. This collective, through this, you would know you're impulsive. You would be getting tested a lot on impulse, making impulsive decisions, reactive decisions from an unbalanced place. This would be a lesson for you in life, patience. Are you someone you get agitated to wait in a queue or sit on a phone for too long with a telemarketer? Are you intolerant? Are you intolerant with people that aren't as well directed as you in finances, in emotion, in this? Are you always just expecting people to be where you are at in life, right? You've got to ask yourself this, because your impulse, especially when it comes to harsh words, is noticed. And then because you're so intelligent and you know how to speak, I feel this person feels like they can be bamboozled by you, and I think this collective, you feel like you can be bamboozled by them. You have perceptions here that clearly, it feels like, I don't want to say clearly you're not on the same page. It's like you don't understand what triggers them and they don't understand what triggers you, which again makes me think lack of transparent communication and clear intention, right? So again, you do have this, but I clearly still feel this. So this collective, that boundaries card, drawing a line, how did you draw a line with this person? Was it harsh? Was it hurtful? Was it, like, these are questions you need to ask yourself. I need to get one more. World, that's good. You would be a force of energy. Oh. This is sad because it makes sense why you would be impulsive with emotion. Remember, this is how they see you. I always say 10 of Wands, you just let things pile up. You can have so many burdens in your life and you don't let anyone in. You don't let anyone in. But you all get to a point because you're pushing a boulder up the hill with all of this. And you can see it here. You can actually see it here. When it comes to things, even things that overwhelm you, if it's part of your structure and you just keep going, right? Till you burn yourself out. But you don't let people in on your grievances. So they would see you as wearing a mask too. It would have been really hard for this person to get in. You remind me of a collective. You'd be a silencer. when there's arguments or there's you prefer to shut down. I always say there's the talker, the yeller, the silencer. Don't make it fit. If they're seeing you as this, you carry everything soulfully until you get triggered. And then once you get triggered, you're like fuming. And it's the same for this person. Remember when we were reading them, I said it's like they've got two versions. This collective, you're the same in their eyes. And I do think they're worried about this with you. It's like you can present like this, but they know because they've experienced it. Even when you're at your limit, even when you're over and done and you're about to crumble, they would have seen this in you in the past. So I do think they question this. This collective, you can cover your pain and emotion very well. It's a protection thing for you. So I think it scares them. But then, of course they do. Ride or die, your loyalty. But the way, when it comes to your finances, you got King of Pentacles here. For them to be seeing, this is very masculine energy, right? You don't need to be a male, but especially when it comes, I felt that they made you feel protected. And isn't it funny, you got the pairings. So they did lead more with feminine in this connection. You led more with, you don't need to be a male, female, but dynamic, main collective, person connected to you, wounded feminine energy. They see you more in masculine. So you were like confident, action prone, willpower, mental discipline. You lock in, nothing can stop you. But they also feel like you provide security, protection. You have such a strong sense of self. So again, it makes sense with these two. Your confidence, it would be intimidating for them, but very trustworthy. You have a loyalty about you, but your stubbornness. And I felt it with this. But that's my ride or die. I always say that King of Pentacles, he's loyal, but to a fault at times. But so trustworthy. He offers security because he sits in security. On the top of his mountain, having his cake, eating it too, castle in the background, very, very abundant. So if their finances aren't where they need to be, this literally says rich, stable business owner, successful, traditional, you stand in your power, extremely stubborn, but you're a provider. So for the right collective, you probably took this role when you guys were together, which also made them sit in feminine energy without you knowing. If you become the provider, you just tend to lead with that masculine dominance. Good card, but again, that King of Pentacles is where he is because he's got drive. So it makes sense them still thinking how busy you are, busy, which would ignite certain memories here. Okay, I want to get animal cards. I just want to get 3. Where are my animal cards? Hold on. All right, let's just get 3 cards for how they're seeing you. 1. Oh, teacher. Remember I said, and I did, oh, masculine. Don't make it fit. You do lead in your masculine energy. But remember the spiritual practices came out and I felt that, I feel this person's learning from you. There's something about you, the way you teach, right? Your words, your wisdom. They learn from you. You would teach others in some form of way. But you do, in their mind, you are action prone. You are locked into success in their mind, but this is the divine masculine card. They notice this within you, and again, your confidence. This sticks out to them, which means they're in your dynamic. Don't make this fit. They would have felt, I don't want to say emasculated, but if you were making more money than them and you can see, because in your tarot you have so many pentacle cards, so there is something that they really notice with this collective. But you are very action prone, and what you think you do, what you speak you do. That Ace of Swords, that Knight of Wands, even that Horn, that Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. You think of something, you get it done, you lock in. No one can stop you. It's really noticed. Maybe this is something you, and your tenacity. You just keep going. It can sustain it so long because of the stored water it has. But that 10 of what, you just keep going. No matter how broken you are, you're just like bump, 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 bump. This would make sense with that 2 of Pentacles. They could really feel like you're all work sometimes and no play because of your drive. Oh, you got my twin card. This, the cosmic egg and the moth, the swan, but your grace and beauty, your elegance. But this reflection, they do see themselves in you. I think they find inspiration from you. I'm going to be honest. These are all qualities that drive a divine masculine as well. So if you were to, if you were sent to them to ignite this in them, look what they take. Remember, people that come in to make us self-aware of what we need to heal, extreme highs and lows to create balance. One of you may be extreme in this, one of you too low. You're meant to balance it out, but also qualities we find inspiration. Our soul is craving to find within self, right? The fact that they notice your tenacity, you just don't stop, no matter how burdened you are. Once you're locked into something, you just go, 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 go. Nothing can stop you, and you do it with confidence. And the way you speak, your intelligence, all the swords that came out, you're wise, you're aware, you're observant, you're knowledgeable, which is very beautiful. But then your grace and beauty and your softness. You'd be a very perseverant person. I want one more. I want to read this. We'll just go over it quick. Oh, you're healing. So they have seen you heal and transform. Frogs. So they would have, this person would have seen a transition, but the one thing with the frog, it needs healing waters. It goes, 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 burns itself out. Camel needs to stop and rest and not always push itself so hard. Makes sense with that 10 of Wands. You'd be a very dedicated person. Let's, hold on. We opened on the frog, so sign. Okay, clearing, cleansing and healing. The frog and the water element are the most inseparable. The frog spends its first months of life entirely within the healing element and then emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, it needs cleansing and rejuvenation regularly, which you do not do, this collective. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished. This is one of the biggest details for this collective because they still hold on to this memory. So it's vital that such sensitive creatures practice self-care, self-love, relaxing. This card serves as a reminder that the water helps us cleanse, forgive and release. Time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry such a heavy load. 10 of Wands. You always put others before yourself, even when it's breaking your back. Okay, what's next? Oh, we missed. The cheetah's just really about your action and confidence. Solar force, action, achievement, masculine energy. The cheetah is the epitome of solar forces, your confidence. The sun doesn't shine onto the cheetah. It shines from inside the great creature and expands outward to brighten this universe. The energy within the cheetah personality is palpable palpable to others, and they naturally attract an audience. So you would ignite their jealousy too. To bear witness to their remarkable achievements, purpose and passion are the best fuel for the cheater's forward momentum. So if you're lacking in these areas, reconnect to the why before starting. You would have some form of stage. I see you as a star. I wasn't going to read all these, but I'm being called to. Sorry, hopefully this isn't boring. Effortless creativity, sensitive mystic. So even though you have this fire and force, this teacher, this swan, gentle, especially with this frog, elegant power. The swan represents heightened creativity in the Hindu mythology. The goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry. You'd have a creative's mind. You'd be a beautiful creative soul. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for your attention, for solo time. Why is this? It's like this person looks in on you and it's like they can see you burning out. It's like they can see you burning out. I don't know if this person's mentioned this to you. There's so much about it here. It's like they just want to tell you to breathe, right? It's funny because this person, like, I know these weren't it's like this person knows you so well, right? An inner voice is waiting to be heard, and an inner vision likely to reveal your infinite creative power. But when you're out of balance, you're agitated and snippy. So they know this. When you're overloaded, we said it with the 10 of Wands, and you just blah, right? Because you hold so much back. You hold so much in. Oh, I missed it. Hold on. Smart, strong partner or mate, a wise teacher. The fox is enchanting creature with plenty of mystic to go around. Fox personalities are skillful in business and also make great teachers. Like King of Pentacles. They are quick to learn and adapt well to new situations. Foxes are ideal life partners. As they commit to relationships for the long term. King of Pentacles, your loyalty, the way you can create security. As they can commit to relationships for long term, and their natural charisma, and you did have that Knight of Wands too, keeps the things exciting. Fox's energy helps us stay true to those near and dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those you love. So they are wanting to reconnect to you. Foxes don't do well when people they love slip away. So maybe they see this was really hard for you as well. But maybe they didn't get it. If you were someone that's prone to long-term connections, this person's more, they push love away. So there's a reason I'm hearing this. Maybe you were only ever in 1 or 2 long-term connections before this person, right? They didn't understand this. Remember, they thought you were juggling and you were going to do this, and they were overgeneralizing. Everything that they do to lovers and people, they thought you were going to do to them, but you were just never like that, right? We say don't overgeneralize people. All right. What deck do we go for next? I feel I want to go for these, and then we're just going to get a couple of emotions and we'll see what's coming next from the universe's perspective. Will you listen? So they're wanting to speak. Oh, I love that. Finding themselves, soul contract, forgiveness. Maybe there is movement. I might have to get my purple deck quickly. Talking to myself. So there are so many things I want to say to you, but will you hear me all the way out? Will you even believe me? So they are a bit worried still, I think, about your reactions that may come, or if you'll even believe what they need to say. It's a bit sad. They are finding themselves. We can see that. But I do think this person is... I don't think they're completely there yet. It was time I went within to find myself again. I need to figure, but this is why they're starting to understand you, because they're starting to understand them. I keep going back. I can't get over how many cards are coming out for their perspective. Like that 10 of what, I don't think they understood this actually in the past. I don't think they understood why you would retract or why you would silence. I think for them, it made them think that you didn't love them. I don't think this person really at that point understood how much you take on and how much you hold on to things and how much you don't let people in. I actually don't. For them to be noticing this much, like, it's such a strong point in all the decks, right? It's like there's a penny dropping for them when it does come to certain certain moments that you have reacted, or certain moments that you have been a certain kind of that Knight of Swords energy, where for so long I just think this person, your reactive state, and I'm not saying they weren't reactive, they clearly know they were reactive too, but I think they just had this, we're just fighting with fire, that's why it's so toxic. There was a lack of understanding, right? But since they're finding themselves and they're starting to tap into their own stuff and have a better understanding of self, this is why they're starting to understand you. All of these cards are more about the reflection of who you are as a person. I know you had a card about attraction, but it's like this person starting to understand you at the soul. The fact that I said it's like they're looking in and they can see you burning out. It's like when they're seeing you, they're reflecting on the same moments in your dynamic. It's like that's why they notice it in you so much, because they're like, oh my God, how didn't I see this? How didn't I? Right, collective, you'll know what I'm saying. It's making sense in my mind. It's like as they look in on you, it's like they're starting to realize the things that they were holding against you. It was things that you yourself, the frog energy, right, have needed to heal. I don't think they ever understood why you were so in that kind of cheater, King of Pentacles. That's clearly who you are at the core. It's who you are at the core. That can't be changed, but it is something that needs to be balanced. I always say everyone needs a healthy, balanced life. Can't be all work, no play, all love, no. Like without balance in life, it makes us a shell of who we are. I need to figure out what I want in life. I think this says I need space, but I think they've been reflecting on this with the space, right? Now they're starting to understand the soul contract, the fateful encounter, the reason you guys met, the things that you were meant to learn from one another, the things you were meant to adapt, inspire to be, heal, and then forgiveness. It's only now I feel this person is starting to let go of certain resentments, because they're starting to truly realize they just didn't get you at a core level. How long it took them to get over the past. This is sad. Unworthy. You're a better person than I am. They can't have that outlook. That I do think you still ignite some insecurity, especially when it comes to structure and path in life. I think they compare where they are to where you are, and I think it adds to insecurities. I don't think this person wants to be in a dynamic where they're being led, right? I think I'm seeing that I'm the man kind of energy. Oh, okay, will you listen? It's like they're realizing, without pulling their socks up here and really sorting their shit out, you're always going to take that role. It's who you are in the core, right? At least you're motivating them to find better in their life. That's good. They're broken. Maybe they don't think that you'll believe how broken they are because of how they've treated you. I feel shattered about this whole situation. This is what they want to talk to you about. Finding themselves. Confusion. So they're unclear about where you stand now through all the time and space they've taken. I feel unclear about where I stand with you. And I did feel that for the Two of Pentacles. I really think that this person thinks that you've got someone else in your life, or you're about to. They don't know where you are since all the space that they've taken here. If you still want them. Nervous. So this soul energy really starting to understand the power of soul connection. So it makes them nervous. So thinking of you. Remember, I was feeling a pit in my stomach. I was feeling sick. You make me nervous even just thinking about you. I get maybe they didn't understand this for so long. Fighting fire with fire. This is just a toxic dynamic, but they're starting to realize the more they understand the soul bond, this is why there's nerves. This is why you orbit. This is why it's like, you guys, no matter how long it's been, you always find your way back to one another, even if it ends up being frictional. The reason it's frictional is because there wasn't alignment when it came to, again, awareness and healing. And I really feel there's a big change here. This is nice. This is nice. You're my soulmate. Underneath forgiveness. They're starting to understand the power of your bond. This is beautiful. It must be written in the stars, because you are most definitely my destiny. We belong together. I like this. Will you believe it though? This collective? I don't know. I don't know. This is nice. This isn't goodbye. So again, you always come back. I don't think they ever wanted to walk away. It was their insecurities. They're starting to realize that this love scared them. One more. Oh. Missing you. Irreplaceable. I miss you. I wish things were different. But the emotional, and this is why your mind, your intellect, your knowledge, the way you speak, they struggle with being open and raw. I'm afraid to truly open up to you. Being raw and authentic with my emotions is something I'm still working on. They're only just starting to understand themselves, so this doesn't surprise me. It would still create fear. I'm going to get 3 cards with the purple, because you've got a lot about this person wanting to speak. Tears, they cry at night. But for some reason, I do think this is brewing for this collective. I just don't think you're going to hear from this person this week. I just don't think it's... But we'll get 3 cards if communication, they'll be back, confession, or the little ladybug come out. 3 cards. 1... water sign, but emotions are running high right now, especially this week ahead. So find center in your emotion. Try not to get overwhelmed. Like I said, I was feeling sick coming into this. Okay, so we've got water signs, shorter lived romance, but you both are going to be probably reminiscing about certain memories over this upcoming week. And fire sign, action, water, fire, that could be your pairing. Although we had a lot of earth and air here. It's funny, because I always say wands in tarot days, cups is months. I do think this has been brewing for a while, but I don't think they've made a decision to come forward. They're still getting in touch with their emotion and the intensity. Do they want this? Do they crave this? Yes. Are they still being swallowed a bit too much by fear? Yes. This week, I think you both are going to be feeling some form of passion and this just intensity for one another. I do think there's probably going to be a lot of reminiscing. I've had a couple collectives here this week. It's like your threads are just igniting right now. But maybe, and this, I'm being called to say this, instead of focusing on negativity, maybe focus more on positivity if this is something you are wanting to kind of make a loop again. Hold on, let's get a big dice. 8. Is that 8 or 9? 8. I don't think it's 8 days. I'll get a card for 8 days. It could be 8 days, 8 weeks. It could even be the month of August. I can't see it coming in 8 days. There's 16 here on the other side of it. Maybe 16. Commitment. Things are about to get serious. Manifestation. Don't hold on to the time. 8's going to be important. It'll either come in on the 8th of a month, 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, August. 8's going to be important. All right. But that's when it's destined for you. Right now, I think you both are still going through a pivotal change with something internally. You need to trust the universe. You need to trust divine timing. But when it comes through, it will... You can see this person's going to have such a beautiful intention behind them, right? But they need to realize, is this love? Is this lust? They need to understand the power of love. They need to keep understanding more of that fragmentation of the soul. They're getting there. They're getting there. One positive thing is you clearly, again, you're creating inspiration for change. They need to work on that unworthiness. They have to feel worthy. Otherwise, the same things that have happened in the past will happen again, right? Okay, let's get tarot. Let's get universe's perspective for the future of you guys and we'll see when it is destined to come in, how it's going to play out, right? That's what we will do. World, good. I feel you guys have moved on from the shit. I think whatever was done last point, you've got a world coming in. Fulfillment, feeling whole in one another, right? It's going to feel like a completion, an accomplishment. I always say traditional tarot, she's in the middle of a world. She's got 2 energy rods and she's just creating this force field, right? Unstoppable energy. And I just feel when it's destined, you will feel that. You will feel that wholeness again, right? Breakthrough, truth, communication, epiphany. To have Ace of Swords as your first card, it's not going to be too long. Let go of the time. Just focus on self. Focus on being the best version. Trust in the divine. This says enlightenment, and I think a true new perspective will be over you both. Clarity, truth, enlightenment, communication, expansion through a vision. Very nice. Maybe information that has not been spoken will be spoken, and again, there's something that's going to make you feel whole, right? Oh, Hanged Man in reverse though. There may be certain things that... I'm more seeing that as coming off the tightrope. I'm going to be honest. I actually feel that as things that have been stuck in limbo are going to be released. Confession. 7 of Swords in reverse, remorse over the unworkable strategy. Confession. You got Ace of Swords and 7 of Swords in reverse. Whenever anyone that watches me all the time, I always say this is what you want to see with action. No wonder you're going to have a completion here. This person, you can see, they're focusing on it now. They want to tell you how broken they are. They want to tell you what's been going on. It's the emotional intimacy. You need to trust the universe. I don't think this is a confession of sneak. I think this is genuine, I think you're going to be blown away. There could be some truth, especially with the Ace of Swords here. There could be. But the universe is going to release this. It's a manifestation. So they're going to release it at a point that you both are at a state where there's going to be compromise this time, is what I'm hearing. Love offer, proposal. I will say this. When I see Knight of Cups coming out for what comes next, especially with a person, I see him as a charismatic Casanova, but the theme of this, you've got to remember that Cups journey, it's spiritual development, it's our psychic suits. And I do think when this person comes in, you're going to see a healed state. You're going to see a different version. You're going to see this person has been healing. You're going to see this person has been on their path of self-discovery. Are they going to completely be where you know, I'm not seeing this person come in as this hierophant, but you're going to see development. You're going to see enough development to trust in it, right? I do think this person's going to be emotionally expressive, where I think this is where you guys have gone wrong here. There's never been emotional expression, clear depth of transparent communication. It's always been masked. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's going to captivate you a little bit. I think you're going to see the depth of them. You're going to trust in this Seven of Swords in reverse. You're going to trust in this Ace. You're going to feel a wholeness with this. You're going to feel a force, right? I do think they're going to come in with some form of offer. And I do think that in that moment, I did it again. What I was saying, I think for a first time in a long time, you're finally going to trust in what this person is saying, right? It's going to make you feel safe. What you felt at the start with this person, I think it's going to start to reignite again, where I think every time you guys have been in each other's presence, highly triggered, highly anxious, I always say your body's emotion, it lets you know if something's good or something's off limits. And I think maybe at first your poor little heart will flood up, but I think as they're getting deep, as there's truths, as there's things coming to the surface, especially about emotion, you know what song I'm hearing? My Australians, you'll know, happy little Vegemite, as bright as bright can be. That's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing someone with a huge smile. Maybe you love Vegemite, or you've just had some Vegemite toast. Just seeing a huge smile, beautiful red cheeks, right? I think this is good. Lovers, you'll know, you'll feel harmony. This could be your point of reconciliation. Stop. So you have a breakthrough with this partnership, being in love again, commitment. There could be choices though, but I think you'll finally be in the strength of making decisions from the heart, not the mind, because there's a trust that's going to come here. Harmonizing your relationship. This is where you get your breakthrough. Belief. Surrender this to the universe. These are beautiful. These are beautiful cards. I'm waiting for a bit of a but anyway, what are we going to feel whole with? What are we going to complete? Both ways here. Oh, King of... So I always say the King of Wands in reverse, argumentative, controlling. This was your dynamic, but now it's going to be conquering. It's going to be honorable. You're going to trust in it. And this is how this person would have won your heart at the start, the confidence, the honorable energy. But what you're going to complete out is the arguments, the lack of life experience, the lack of self-awareness, them trying to control everything, you trying to control everything. It's like we're finally going to bring this king upright, right? And passion. Magnetic. All of our wand suits very attractive and confident and magnetic. It's good. All right, what are they going to confess to? Oh, we've got a couple here. The Ten of Swords, the betrayal, the rock bottom, the broken energy. No wonder you've got a world, because you've gone through a Ten of Swords. You can't get any worse. So you have gone through an end of a cycle, a true end of a cycle. This is what they're going to confess about. Ten of Swords and Seven of Wands, the boundaries. Them always thinking about themselves, them not letting you in, how they were protecting themselves, right? Through all of this, protecting themselves, boundaries, their defensiveness, hypersexual, this says, but their anger, why they were this way, right? This is big. I always say that Seven of Wands is great if it's for self and dedication, but when other people are involved, it's a little bit selfish because you're just so focused to getting onto your end stop, Mount Everest. You're not listening to anyone, right? But this is where you're going to trust in it. You're going to believe it because they're going to speak about the ending. They're going to speak about their behavior and why, right? You're going to see that they understand. You're going to finally see they get it. They get it. Not deflecting, not this, not like this. I think is what's going to soften you. I think this collective, you've always just wanted this person to realize, right? You've wanted to understand why they were so angry, why so much resentment. It's like you knew this person was blaming you. You would have felt so many burdens and you would have blamed yourself for so long, right? but you just wanted this person to take some accountability for their actions too. And it's like, this is what's coming. And this is why you'll find compromise. All right, this love of Sun. Look at your spread. It's going to make you happy. And I felt that. Remember I said happiest card in the deck, and I was saying happy little Vegemite as bright as bright can be. You're going to be so happy. But the truth, the illumination, it's going to put confidence back in the dynamic. High vibration, success, truth, inspiration, happiness. You're going to be lit up from the inside. Very nice. I love it. All right. What comes next? This could really put stepping stones in place for a true Ten of Cups, a Four of Wands, right? This is a very good building block. Very good building block, because it's just reminding me of two people finally at a place where they can at least talk. Effective communication, the dolphin energy. You just need judgment, trust. Six of Cups, and this says second chance at love, this card. Past life connection, memory, second chance at love, reigniting the past with nostalgia, happiness, belief. And this is a past life connection card. Very nice. I always say you can't go from a Ten of Swords to a Ten of Cups, but this is very beautiful what comes next. You'll feel safe. You both will feel safe. All right. Okay. Oh, we've got a few initials today. You've got the baby butterfly. You could be destined for a little bubblesy. Oh my God, you got my Holy Grail cup. I'm hearing that Holy Grail song by Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z. But maybe religion, spiritual factors have been part of this as well. But your perseverance belt, a little bit more perseverance, but it will pay off. You could have just got a new pet collar. Now this, I'm a little bit dumbfounded with. You've got both lightning bolts. It could be 8 days. Don't hold on to the time. This is very rapid moving. You got both of them. So these are my quick moving charms. It could come in on a lightning storm, but the fact they've given you both, and it's going to be like a shock revelation epiphany when this comes through too as well. Now, my amethyst, yes, healing, but I see it as a sobriety stone as well. So when it comes out in a charm, maybe this person's taken a path of sobriety, which is clearing out their mind. You could have taken a path of sobriety. Maybe addictions was something that really affected this. But you got my J and B, the High Priestess card, the Temple, the black and white pillars, P as well. But you also got the Eye of Ra, Eye of Horus, ancient. So this really could be something divine here. Good luck, protection. You could have this tattooed on you, but ancient Egypt. I find my true divines, you really resonate with ancient Egypt, like Egyptian mythology. White candle wax. You got the baby pearl and the baby butterfly. You really could be destined for bubblesies, or you could have a little spirit baby on your shoulder. And golden elixir. You're all around each other right now, so be positive. Don't sit in negativity and fear. Just surrender to the universe. Remove any excessive emotion, good or bad. Just try not to focus on this. Just believe. Believe to succeed. Just keep telling yourself whatever's meant to be will always be. 20th of the 9th, 20th of the 4th, 4-4. You could be seeing a lot of 4-4-4. 9th of the 4th, 4th of the 9th, 4th of the 12th, 12th of the 4th. You could be watching this at 4:49. 11th of the 2nd, 2nd of the 11th, 111. 7th of the 1st, 1st of the 7th, 5th of the 1st, 1st of the 5th, 5th of the 11th, 5th of the 2nd. Did I say 5th of the 7th? And all of them back to the 5th. So 11th of the 5th, you know what I'm saying. All right, my loves. I love you guys. Don't stress. Have a good day.